Well, we got a delayed kickoff tonight, but we're live and we're here at Robbers Cove in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. We've got a great matchup tonight. Should be high-flying, great passing attacks between these two teams, the Oklahoma City Renegades and the Indianapolis Spitfire. Welcome into Oklahoma City, folks. My name is Eric Vincent alongside Marcus Dunhill and Avery Allen. We'll be in the stats truck tonight. What's going on tonight, Marcus?
Doing good so far. A little bit of a later start, but I'm excited to get going here. Indianapolis had an amazing week last week, and I'm very excited to see how they stack up against Oklahoma City.
Yeah, both teams coming off a good win. Both teams going with high-flying passing attacks as well, and that's been their MO throughout the course of Season 12 here in the SFL. We're going to get a look at the coin toss now at midfield. Indianapolis, being the visiting team, will call it in the air. And it looks like Indy has won the toss. They will elect to receive the opening kickoff. And I apologize, it is Robbers Cave, not Robbers Cove. I do apologize for the error on my part there. We'll pause for 10 seconds for station identification. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music, and we're live on YouTube. And here we go. Oklahoma City is going to get the ball teed up here. Johnny Omega, the kicker for the Renegades. Everything's looking good. We're ready to go. And ball's in the air. We're underway here in OKC. Fielded from inside the 10. Indy going to bring the ball up the field. And Hunter Jones, the return man, going to get tackled at the 29-yard line. We will see T.D. Drew, the 7th overall pick in the latest SFL draft, out onto the field commanding the troops. We talked about it, Marcus, a little bit of a passing attack here for both these teams.
Yeah, T.D. Drew had quite a good game. I believe he was over 400 yards last week, so let's see what he does with the passing attempt this week.
First and 10, offset I formation from the 29. Drew to throw to start things off, and he's got a wide-open Trevor Farrell, the former member of the Legion, on an out route there. 4-yard gain to start things off.
Good little out route. Seeing that coverage testing, seeing where those cornerbacks are going to go. Looks like we have now a nice 2nd and 6, which gives them an opportunity to start testing that running game.
From the 33. 2nd and 6, empty set, 3 wide receivers towards the bottom of the screen. Drew, quick pass over towards the right-hand side. That's caught, and that will move the chains for the Spitfire.
Good first down pickup by Indianapolis. I wondered if they were going to go ahead and mix up a little bit of the run, but they went in with an empty formation and are going to continue the air attack. It worked out really well last week, so I guess go while the iron's hot.
3 wide receivers this time towards the top of the screen. Keith Swearingen, the running back there, he's going to get his first carry of the ball game, and what a carry it is, as he's going to get at least 12 or 13 yards on that carry out to the OKC 45.
Look at Keith Swearingen go on that first run of the game. Definitely showing that although the air attack is really good for Indianapolis, they can run the ball too. He can be counted on in almost any situation to pick up either short yardage or whole entire chunks of downs, just like that first down there.
Hunter Jones, Trevor Farrell, Leonidas Richards, all 3 wide receivers for the Spitfire. Dan Daly, the tight end, as Drew will throw it out towards the bottom of the screen there. That is Richards, the undrafted rookie, with his first catch of the night.
So far, so good. 3 for 3 on the offense here, moving the football. They just had somebody out by the sideline, and the coverage was up a little bit, and easy for them to pick up a few yards and move close to the first down marker.
John Gregory, Day Drury, the linebackers for the Renegades. Jam Pearson, Greg Gaines, the corners, as Drew will pump fake, throw it over the middle of the field, and he's got Hunter Jones, and that's going to move the sticks again for the Spitfire. Thomasina Rahman and Brady Clark, the safeties, to round out the Renegade defense.
Hunter Jones came from Oklahoma City to play for Indianapolis this season. I would have to check back on the schedule to see whether or not this is the first time he's played them since he moved teams, but it's very interesting playing your former team.
Good looking drive here by Indy. Two backs in the backfield. Drew with plenty of time. He's going to throw deep towards the bottom of the screen, and that is tipped and incomplete. That was tight coverage. Thomasina Ramat out there, as well as others looking for Dan Daly on the play.
That ball was floated out there, and there was too many people around it. Oklahoma City was able to get a hand on it, and Indianapolis is actually very lucky that it wasn't tipped into the hands of another Oklahoma City player, considering there were 3 people at the spot of the ball when it was tipped.
Trips towards the bottom of the screen. Drew's going to throw again. Pressure in his face. He's going to throw it towards the bottom of the screen, and what a catch by Hunter Jones. As you mentioned, Marcus, the former Renegade, making a huge play against his former team.
There's really no fear from TD Drew in these throws that he's making. You know, you see him throw into double coverage. Well, I guess this wasn't double coverage. There was one person covering him and one person nearby. But depending on how quickly the safety was able to spot the ball, that could have been double covered by the time the ball got there. So he's making sure that those balls don't go near those safeties.
So first and goal from the 1. Drew's going to throw, and he's going to throw it with the back of the end zone. He had wide open Dan Daly, could not reel it in. That's going to fall incomplete.
You know, 2 parts of that was there was a lot of pressure coming in on TD Drew. You could see that line was starting to break down. Was able to get the ball away. I wasn't even sure if he was going to get the ball away before Oklahoma City got to him, but was able to get the ball out of there, and it just, you know, bounced off Daly's hands.
Still in the gun. Second and goal from the 1. Drew to throw again. Plenty of time. He's going to check it right down over the middle of the field. Could not make it past the goal line. And Swearingen actually gets stopped right at the goal line. So they'll mark it as 3rd and maybe about a chest hair.
Seemed interesting. The entire line blocked the left, and it seemed like the whole right side was open. And, you know, it was a good opportunity to try to throw at Swearingen, that person you should definitely try to rely on. But I bet TD Drew probably could have ran it with the way that the whole line shifted over to the left side of the field.
We'll see if they just hand it off to Swearingen. No, they won't. They'll throw it over across the end zone, incomplete. And that was some tight coverage by the Renegades secondary there. That was an ill-advised throw, to say the least.
It was definitely good coverage by the Renegades, but I also think it was thrown a little too quickly. There was a receiver on the right side that I think would have opened up if he would have waited another second or 2 to throw. And unfortunately, that's going to cost them the opportunity to get that touchdown, and they're going to have to go for a field goal here.
Adam Vinchek, the kicker for the Spitfire. This will be a chip shot here of about 16 or 17 yards. Good snap. Hold and kick up and through from 17. So Indy on the board first as they come to visit the Renegades here at Robbers Cave.
Time to see what Oklahoma City can do. And, you know, their big weapon on offense is their running back, J.W. Doyle, who's having an outstanding season so far.
Doyle in his 2nd season with the Renegades. Renegades coming off a victory against the San Francisco Sharks last week, as the kick is fielded and brought up to the 25-yard line. That was Bubba Marshall with the return. And we'll get our first look of the night at Deacon Nickens, the 3rd-year man with the Renegades running this offense.
Deacon Nickens is always one of those reliable quarterbacks. Doesn't get too many interceptions, always plays pretty safely. He's always one of the better quarterbacks in the league.
And a little pitch play to start things off as J.W. Doyle finds room down the far sideline. He has got first down yardage and more. Finally dragged down by Ryan Wall, one of the backup linebackers there. And that's a good start there for the Renegades offense.
J.W. Doyle got the pitch out to the right there, and as soon as he took it, was able to just get around and got some good blocks. One linebacker was able to grab him and pull him out. Otherwise, he would have probably been gone. But that's definitely the way you want to start it, with a 21-yard run on your first play.
Rich Pratchett, the 3rd overall pick, along with Devontae Duncan and Jafletius D'Angelo, the wide receivers, and 10-year man Tiberius Bovine at tight end for the Renegade offense. Pump faker Deacon Nickens as he throws it into coverage intended for Bovine, and that falls incomplete. Good play by Ellis to knock things up there.
That scared me a little bit. At first, I thought it was going to be intercepted, and then I thought he caught it for a second, and it fell incomplete. Just too many people around that football, and a really tough opportunity for any wide receiver to pull that ball down.
You see Easy Temple getting his hand in the dirt there as at his defensive tackle spot, Von Sanuk, Johnny Bravo, the corners. We saw Peyton Ellis on that last play. Steve Vitak at free safety as well, and Paul Connolly at strong safety. Sanuk coming up and making a big play against Doyle coming out of the backfield there, so it's going to be 3rd and long for the Renegades.
He'd watched Doyle and wasn't fooled by any kind of misdirection and was able to bring him down behind the line of scrimmage. It was a great play by the Indy cornerback to make sure that Doyle didn't move that ball beyond the line of scrimmage.
So a 3rd and forever. Nickens taking a 7-step drop. He's going to throw it deep over the middle field. He's going to be wide open. No one's going to touch him as he waltzes into the end zone. Touchdown, Renegades.
What a play from Oklahoma City to be able to make that. They didn't have a whole lot of time to throw that football. The Indianapolis defenders were starting to break through that line. Deacon Nickens was able to throw that ball. As you see there, just getting around the corner. And it looked like that corner there just kind of stopped and was waiting to see what was going to happen and let the receiver for Oklahoma City get the better of him.
And that was the 3rd overall pick, Rich Pratchett, with his first catch of the ball game, resulting in a touchdown for his Renegades. 6-3 with the extra point pending here. And Johnny Omega knocks it up and through. 7-3 your score early on. 6:10 left to go here in the first quarter. And, man, we've got some fireworks already. Indianapolis with a good first drive. Oklahoma City and bomb of their own. And we're going to see some fireworks going back and forth tonight. I just know it. Omega boots it down the field. Field at about the 10-yard line is Hunter Jones once again. And he will bring it out to the 27-yard line. Decent return. And we'll see what the Spitfire can do on their second possession. They were looking good, Marcus, on that first one there. Just couldn't quite punch it in the end zone.
They had a great passing attack that moved the ball, and they also had Swearingen, who only had one run, but he was able to run for 13 yards. They just couldn't get past that goal line.
TD Drew doesn't like something at the line. He's changing things up. He's got 3 wide receivers and Swearingen in the backfield. Hand off to Swearingen, who almost gets through that first tackler there, but a good wrap-up, and that was made, I'm trying to get the number there, but that was a good job there by, I believe, one of the linebackers.
Yeah, you made a good job wrapping him up. Swearingen's one of those people that just keeps on moving, and they did a really good job making sure that he didn't break that first tackle, because if he would have broken that tackle, he would have made it to the first down marker for sure before he was stopped.
Yeah, I apologize. That was John Gregory there with the stop. 2nd and 4 now for the Spitfire. They throw it towards the near sideline, and that is caught for a first down. A heck of a way to keep his feet in bounds. Leonidas Richards with another catch, moving the chains.
Great situational awareness for Richards, making sure he stops himself on the other side of the first down marker. Sometimes you'll see receivers who stop short of the first down marker, take the ball and go out of bounds, and it'll be, 3rd or 4th and 1 or 2, and then they have to punt. But he did a good job making sure he stayed on that side.
So Drew with a fresh set of downs, throws it to the far sideline this time, again looking for Richards, but good play by the secondary there as Jam Pearson gets in there and knocks it down to the turf.
Seemed like the ball might have been thrown just a little bit too low. Let's take another look here. I guess it wasn't a little bit too low. Pearson was able to get his hand up and tip it. It was a great job by him making sure that he saw he had an opportunity to put his hand on the football, and he took it.
The other curious part there is that there was Trevor Farrell and Richards in the same general area, so I guess we really don't know who TD Drew was trying to get it to, but either way, it's an incomplete pass. 2nd and 10 now from the 38. Trips towards the top of the screen. Empty set for TD Drew. Pump fakes. Throws it over the middle of the field into traffic. What a diving catch there by Trevor Farrell. And what a big offseason acquisition from the Vancouver Legion.
Absolutely, and this was one of those things. He just pump fakes and threw in right into triple coverage for Farrell to be able to just dive forward and get that ball. Great opportunity to make sure that Oklahoma City didn't get their hands on that football.
A heck of a throw there by Drew as well, throwing it into the triple coverage. He's going to check it down short this time and has Dan Daly, who had a case of the yips earlier as he dropped an easy one in the back of the end zone. Makes up for it slightly there with a 6-yard gain.
So far, Indianapolis is continuing their good air attack. You know, they didn't really stumble with their air attack until they reached the goal line. Before, they kept moving the ball. And right now, 9 for 13 for TD Drew.
Again, 3 wide receivers towards the top. He's going to throw it at the bottom, though. Man-to-man coverage. And a good catch by Richards again as he's able to move the sticks for the Spitfire.
Another good job by Richards making sure he just goes past the line of scrimmage. The coverage was up on Oklahoma City.
Ooh, we're going to have our first Harry's close shave, close call challenge as we get another look here. Marcus, I thought he was in at first glance.
I did too. Let's take a look and see what the replay shows us here. Looks like we'll probably have a good view here. All he needs is 1 foot in. So let's see what happens. So we got the ball 1 foot. Oh, that's pretty close to the line.
Yeah, they might overturn this one. We'll have to see what old referee 62 has to say. Ooh, and they're going to let it stand. So Oklahoma City is going to be charged their first time out on an unsuccessful challenge. They will have 2 remaining here in the first half. And the Oklahoma City crowd, not a fan of that there, Marcus.
Yeah, they probably thought his foot touched the line, and it was awfully close, but there just wasn't conclusive evidence for the referees to overturn that.
So, result of the play is a first down from the 33-yard line of OKC. Drew's going to throw again towards the near sideline. That is caught for a gain of 5. From shave sets to handles, Harry's provides quality craftsmanship. Made in Germany, we make Harry's products from the finest materials and ingredients to ensure they perform as well as they possibly can. Use the coupon code SIMULATIONFL at purchase from Harry's.com. A portion of your purchase supports the SFL, Harry's official razor of the SFL. So a 2nd and 5 now. Coming up on 4 minutes left to go here in the opening period. Throwing it over the middle of the field and another jumping attempt there. Caught. And that is Dan Daly with another catch, and it's going to be another 1st and goal for the Spitfire.
These wide receivers are doing a great job of making sure that they catch these footballs. Daly's actually a tight end, but he's much taller than a lot of the other players, and they found some space to put the football, and it was an easy catch for him. Now we just need to see how Indianapolis can do as they approach the goal line again.
They had a tough time of it last time around. Couldn't quite break into pay dirt. We'll see what happens here. Drew throwing it in the end zone. 1 play, done. Touchdown, Spitfire.
Good play there. There were so many people. I had trouble tracking the football a little bit on that throw. Let's take another look at it. Went right over the middle and just found Richards able to get that catch.
And Richards has been very popular so far in these first couple of drives. That's his 6th catch there. That one resulting in a touchdown.
Most of Richards' catches have been on the sideline. Kind of surprised to see him going over the middle of the field for that touchdown.
So Indy retakes the lead. High snap on the extra point, but gets it down, up and through. 10-7 now your score in favor of the Spitfire. Back and forth we go. And we still got 3:30 left to go here in the first quarter here, Marcus.
Time to see what what Oklahoma City's going to do. They just happened to catch one of their receivers, Rich Pratchett, over the Indianapolis cornerback last time and got a huge 50-yard touchdown. So let's see how they respond on their second drive. See if they find any big holes on the Indianapolis defense.
And the Renegades return gets out to the 29-yard line. Pretty standard return. And Deacon Nickens is going to come out once again. And as you mentioned, a good pitch and catch there to Rich Pratchard, going deep and able to getting into the end zone for the touchdown. We'll have to see what results here on their second possession. Offset I formation, Nickens. He's going to throw deep to the far sideline over the outstretched hands of the defender. And that's a completion out to the 43-yard line. Great job by the quarterback.
Deacon Nickens is got 68 yards already. He's 3 for 4, including that long touchdown pass earlier. So most of his yards came from that big touchdown pass.
So first and 10.
I'm sorry, I was going to say he currently has an impressive 156 quarterback rating so far in this game.
That's absolutely impressive. Still plenty of ball game left to go. We'll see what happens. J.W. Doyle with another pitch play there. Able to get through the first couple of tacklers there, using his speed and his agility by throwing in that spin cycle there. Easy tempo finally dragging him down.
J.W. Doyle had somebody hanging on him in the backfield. You know, he's very lucky that wasn't a loss of yards, but he was able to get through that and even gain a couple yards. So great play by J.W. Doyle to make sure that he wasn't pulled down in the backfield.
Doyle to single back again. Nickens is going to throw, though. 7-step drop, in trouble. He'll throw it over the middle of the field. Somehow threads it between two defenders. That is caught, and that is Jaflecius D'Angelo with his first catch of the ball game.
Incredible throw to put it straight between two defenders. I was very unsure whether or not Indianapolis, I figured they would get their hands on that football. It was a very risky throw to make, but it worked out in their favor.
So into Indy territory they go at the 42-yard line, 1st and 10. Nickens to throw. He's going to throw in a one-handed grab there. What a great grab by Bovine as he gets a 3-yard gain.
Short pass from OKC. They grabbed 3 yards, but 3 yards will help them. They're slowly chugging into field goal range here, and I'm sure they want more than just those 3 yards, but Deacon Nickens currently has 158.3 quarterback rating. I think that might be as high as it can get.
I want to thank those of you for joining us that were watching Chicago take down Houston 17-10 in the Thunderdome. We've got a good one coming around here. 10-7 your score as J.W. Doyle gets stopped in the backfield by the Spitfire. It's going to be a 3rd and long situation again for the Renegades.
They're probably going to need to lean on their passing game. I don't think they're going to want to try to run it here. So let's see which of their wide receivers, if any, are going to be able to get open and get that first down.
Nickens under center, 3 wide receivers. 5-step drop, he'll throw it near the sideline. And plenty of speed and room. That's unbelievable. He caught it right at the line of scrimmage. Devontae Duncan able to turn on the afterburners and get just enough to move the chains.
I was quite surprised with that play. He even had to turn back and get it. I think he was about 2 yards past the line of scrimmage. Had to come back to the line of scrimmage to catch it, and I thought he'd be tackled for maybe even a loss, but he was able to use his speed to turn back upfield to get that first down. A very fortunate play for Oklahoma City.
Handoff to Doyle, and the Spitfire defense read that perfectly there. Able to get a stop right at the line of scrimmage. No gain, 2nd and 10.
Indianapolis has let up one big play from J.W. Doyle, and then they've done a pretty good job keeping him in check for only 2 or 3 yard gains here and there. So now he is 4 attempts for 20 yards, and 13 of his yards came from one run.
Might get one more play here. We will before the end of the first quarter. Nickens throws a wobbler to the far sideline, and that's caught by Pratchett. And he was going to get forward progress across the marker, and that'll be a first down when we resume play here at the end of the first quarter. Got a great ball game for you folks. 10-7 your score as we hit the end of quarter number 1. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. We're live on YouTube. Eric Vincent alongside Marcus Dunhill, Avery Allen in the stats truck for us tonight. Deacon Nickens going to swing it out to Doyle. Doyle able to tightrope the sideline a little bit there. I thought his momentum was carrying him out of bounds. Able to stay in bounds though here, Marcus.
I did too. I thought he might have stepped out right there, but he didn't. Great job making sure he was able to turn and move back upfield. You don't see that a whole lot sometimes from these running backs in the SFL. They really like to make sure they catch that football, and they usually sometimes go straight out of bounds.
So 2nd and 4 now. Into the SFL red zone we go from the 15-yard line. Nickens under center, Doyle the single back. Nickens is going to throw. He'll throw it over the middle of the field. He had a man. Good defense on the play, and that's Wall making another stop. That falls incomplete, 3rd and 4.
I think the ball was just a little bit too late. It got to the wide receiver, and it was just he didn't get an opportunity to catch it when he got hit. He just let go of the ball, and a good opportunity by one of the linebackers from Indianapolis falling on the ball just in case it had been ruled a fumble. You never know.
4 wide receivers this time for Nickens. Short drop. He'll throw a slant over the middle of the field, and that's caught. That's going to advance the chains. 1st and goal. Rich Pratchard with another catch.
Pratchard having quite a game right now. 3 catches for 72 yards, including that big 56-yard throw earlier for a touchdown. Definitely a pretty aggressive throw from Deacon Nickens going through 2 defenders.
1st and goal from the 9. Nickens will throw again. He'll throw it down to the sideline, and he's got Doyle. They're going to mark that as a completion, but barely give him a yard. It's going to be 2nd and goal from the 8.
Looked like that line was collapsing. A couple of the offensive and defensive linemen both went to the ground, and Nickens knew he didn't have a whole lot of time left with that football. So he got it over to Doyle, but Doyle's momentum brought him out of bounds.
Offset I formation. Nickens to throw again. He's got a man in the end zone. That's going to be caught. Touchdown, Tiberius Bovine.
A lot of the big plays for Oklahoma City are coming over the middle of the field, which is interesting. Great play by Oklahoma City and Bovine to make sure that he was open in the end zone. It looks like they were just playing above the receiver, and Bovine was able to get that ball, and there was nobody in front of him.
Yeah, it looks like there might have been a bit of man coverage on the play there, as I think that was Vitak that was covering him. Johnny Bravo just a little too slow coming over to help. Bovine able to retake the lead for the Renegades. And the kick is up and through, so 14-10 now your score. The Renegades up by 4 as we hit 9:46 here in the opening half of play.
On that particular play, when you're playing coverage on a receiver, you want to make sure if you're standing behind them, your only chance is to try to make contact with the ball as soon as they catch it, and there was just nobody able to make that interference with Bovine as he caught that touchdown.
11 of 13 and 2 touchdowns thrown for Deacon Nickens. Looking good so far tonight as we come to you from a pretty standard day here in Oklahoma City. About 50 degrees, a little chill in the air, but nothing too crazy, Marcus.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice day and a good game so far here. Indianapolis got their balls moving a little bit here, and they were able to score a touchdown on the last drive after they had been stopped at the goal line in their first possession.
High snap for Drew. He's got a wide open man running the out route. And that is complete out to Richards once again, who had the touchdown pass earlier.
Richards is really catching him with this out route. They've done it 3 or 4 times already, and it seems to be working good for them. They pick up, a good 5 yards every time, and there's usually not a defender around to interfere with the catch at all.
3 receivers bunched towards the bottom of the screen. Swearingen the single back. Drew with a short drop. He's going to throw deep and almost reeled in. That's the second one there that maybe Daly should have had, but it falls incomplete.
Looks like he had his hand on it, and then as he was contacted and going to the ground, it just fell loose. Unfortunately, that's a couple big drops so far. One of them was for a touchdown, so you really got to manage those drops, but it's also very hard to hold on to the football when you get hit as well.
So 3rd and 5 now for the Spitfire. 2 backs in the backfield with Drew. Stands in the pocket. He'll throw it over the middle. He had a man on the slant route, but that was a great play by John Gregory to swat the ball down.
Yeah, Gregory did a great job getting in front of that football. It's too bad he wasn't able to pick it off. That definitely would have been a momentum changer if he would have got the interception on that ball.
So that's our first stop of the ball game. So we're going to see our first punt. This is Jake D'Antonio with the first punt of the night. Oklahoma City not coming after it. They'll set up the return right around the 27-yard line, and it looks like the Spitfire were right there to knock him down right at the 29-yard line. So that's where Oklahoma City will take over with a 4-point lead.
Fun fact, I believe that was our first punt of the game.
It was indeed, yes.
We've seen a couple touchdowns, and we've seen a field goal try at the goal line, and that was the first punt of the game.
So Nickens under center. He's got a heavy set formation. Doyle's going to get the handoff, and man, he just bowls over as the first defender, still bowling over defenders. Somehow makes that a 9-yard gain as he was hit about a couple yards behind the line of scrimmage. What a play.
Man, how many people does Doyle have to take with him? I think he broke through tackles before 2 people finally got hands on him and pulled him down. Great run by Doyle. He initially was only going to get a couple yards and then broke 2 additional tackles along the way.
Offset I formation, 2nd and 1, and Doyle's in trouble as a gang of Spitfire just gang up on Doyle. It's going to be a loss of 4. It's going to be 3rd and 5. That's certainly not what you wanted there if you're OKC.
Defensive end got him. One person was able to get a hand on him, and then a second player came in, helped to pull him down, and they had a 3rd Spitfire there just for good measure. That's your best way to take down a running back like J.W. Doyle, is get as many hands on him as you can. Slow him down.
I think the tackle missed that initial block, which probably was the unblocked defensive end there. Leaping catch by Oklahoma City and a stiff arm. And that's Bovine once again with another catch. He's got a touchdown grab already, and now he's got a first down.
Not only was that a leaping catch, it was a leaping catch a couple yards short of the first down marker, and came into contact with the defender and was able to blow past him and get that first down, which was very fortunate for Oklahoma City. If they were able to get that tackle short of the first down marker, the ball would be headed back to Indianapolis already.
Like single safety high for the Spitfire on defense. Hand off to Doyle, and man, oh man. Indy has just been reading that like a book today, with the exception of maybe one run. The Spitfire defense has been all over it. Easy tempo with a big stop behind the line.
Seems pretty back and forth. Doyle had 2 or 3 runs where he picked up about 10 yards, and then some runs where Indy just saw it coming and just nailed him in the backfield.
So 2nd and 12 now. Nickens with a 7-step drop. He'll throw it towards the near sideline, and he's got another first down out to Bovine. He was just wide open out in coverage. VTAC out there finally laying the tackle on him.
They're making good use of their tight end, Bovine. When he got that football, there just wasn't anybody within about 5 yards of where he was.
Certainly can't let anybody get loose, especially a weapon like Tiberius Bovine. 10 seasons in the SFL, all of them with the Renegades. Doyle the single back, Nickens under center, 2 wide receivers, heavy set. He's got time, he's going to throw it over the middle, and he's got his wide receiver out to the 41-yard line, gain of 6 for D'Angelo.
Just watching some of these pass plays that Oklahoma City is doing, and they're doing a good job finding space over the middle of the field that is not being covered by Indianapolis, and slowly but surely every 5 or 6 yards they keep moving the ball.
Pitch play to Doyle, and again getting wrapped up in the backfield. Steve Vitak this time the one getting him in the backfield, but again, Marcus, like we were talking about, that pitch play in particular is the one that is kind of hit or miss, feast or famine on that one.
Yeah, they definitely know that when Doyle gets going, he can really break some tackles, and they're hoping he can break for a big run, so they just keep feeding Doyle and see if he can get through.
So on a 3rd and 7, it's going to be a handoff to Doyle, and Doyle able to break through and cross into Indy territory out to the 25-yard line. That's where they'll move the sticks.
That was a good play both by Doyle and the offensive line. You can see the offensive line open up a big hole for him to go through, and then he was able to shrug off one defender and continue to run. And they were able to bring him down, but not after a good 15-yard run or so for J.W. Doyle.
Didn't look like Indy was ready for a run to be called on 3rd and 7. And as a result, Renegades moving the sticks. Nickens with plenty of time. He'll throw to the far sideline. He's got a wide open Bovine inside the 10 and down to the 7-yard line. 1st and goal for the Oklahoma City Renegades.
Man, those tight ends, they can really get you. They create such crazy mismatches that people just aren't ready for. It looked like neither of those defenders were expecting it to go to the tight end, and he tried to spin pass, and he just couldn't. So great job by Bovine to stay behind both defenders far enough away that neither of them could get their hand on the football or even come close to it.
Clock ticking down to inside 5 minutes left to go here in the first half of play from Oklahoma City. 3 wide receivers for the Renegades. Nickens under center. He will pass. He'll check it down to Doyle, and he'll only get a couple on that play out to the 5-yard line.
When you're this close to the end zone, you don't want to force anything, because if you start forcing passes into the end zone, you start risking interceptions. So if you can just take 2 yards, if you don't see anything open, just go ahead and take it. It'll bring you a little bit closer, and then you can change up your formation and see if you can get anything better.
Want to welcome these new viewers coming over and watching this Oklahoma City Renegade Ball Club as they throw it to the back of the end zone, tipped and intercepted. That was certainly not what I was expecting. I think he led him a little too far, and the tip was able to fall right into Peyton Ellison's hands here.
I want to see the replay a bit, because I knew if he had got it way over to the corner, it would have been okay. And man, just terrible luck for Oklahoma City. It just got tipped straight into the defender's hands.
And kudos to Von Sanook. I didn't see it on the first play there, but watching the replay, he definitely played tip drill to his buddy Peyton Ellison, able to get the interception and force the turnover, our first turnover of the ball game.
That's definitely the teamwork you want to see from the Indianapolis defense.
Handoff to Swearingen, whose work has been spare for the time being, out to the 21-yard line, only a gain of 1 to start things off.
Keith Swearingen's 3rd run of the game, I believe.
And again, want to thank those of you watching last game in Las Vegas, 43-10, the final score from the Eye of the Storm. This is our final game of the week for the SFL and our final game of the evening, as we get another huge play there by T.D. Drew, connecting with, I believe it was Richards once again.
Was able to get that ball to Richards. It looked like Oklahoma City had an opportunity to get their hands on the football, and they just barely missed. So Leonidas Richards is having quite a game so far.
8 targets, 8 catches, 1 for a touchdown. Certainly shaping up to be a good night for him, the undrafted rookie. T.D. Drew throwing it over the middle of the field. That's complete for another first down. And this time it's out to the former Legion, Trevor Farrell, with the catch.
Indianapolis is doing a really good job just getting the ball around these Oklahoma City defenders. Oklahoma City just hasn't been able to get in front of the football or behind the football, or even really get their hands on the football at all.
Drew in trouble, pressure coming. He'll throw it to the near sideline, tipped and incomplete. He was looking for his favorite target, Richards, again, but good coverage, and that pressure was coming in a hurry, Marcus.
No, they did a great job making sure they had the coverage on that. The only way they would have been able to complete that is if they had overthrown the ball to Richards and hope he continued to run and get it. You know, they put it probably right about where Richards was going to be, and it gave the opportunity for Oklahoma City to get up there and hit the football out of the way.
Two backs in the gun with Drew on this 2nd and 10. Drew with plenty of time. Now the pocket collapsing. He's going to go down. Big sack by the Oklahoma City defensive line. Drops him back to the 42.
Took way too much time on that play, and you can watch number 77 there around the corner, and you knew at that point that he had a second, and TD Drew didn't, but he saw the rusher as soon as he turned to the right, but he didn't have any time to throw away the football or do anything, just brace and go down.
Crowd on their feet here in OKC. Renegades playing a little press coverage. Blitz is coming. Free runner. Drew shuffling in the pocket. Throws it on. The run is going to be intercepted. Going back the other way for OKC at the 47-yard line, right around the 2-minute drill. And that was something you didn't need to do if you're TD Drew.
What a crazy play. So the rusher went in, he ducked under the rusher, then one of his offensive linemen came back, blocked behind the quarterback, but I wonder if TD Drew didn't know that the block was happening behind him. He still had time to throw, but he might have thought that rusher was coming back for him, threw the ball too quickly, and it went interception straight into Oklahoma City's hands.
Thomasina Rahman with the interception. Gives the ball back to the offense with 2:19 left to go here in the first half. Nickens will throw, almost picked off and going the other way that time. That was Wall there with the deflection.
Man, the first corner we saw such careful and strategic throws from both sides, and then here in the second quarter, interceptions from both teams and almost interceptions on other plays from both teams. It seems people are playing a little more recklessly with the football in the second quarter.
Offset I formation. Nickens will hand it off to Doyle, and who's in trouble, and he'll go down in the backfield. Guess who? That's Mr. Wall making the stop again. That's going to be a loss of 2 on the play, and that'll bring us to the 2-minute warning, the quick 2-minute warning. 14-10, your score in favor of the hometown Renegades. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music live on YouTube. Third and long now for the Renegades. 2 wide receivers. Doyle in the backfield. Nickens under center. Nickens will throw. Pump fakes. He'll throw it to the far sideline. Caught for a first down out to the 31-yard line, and that'll move the sticks. Quip Design delivers simple ways to keep your mouth healthy with time vibrations. Brush head refills for $5, refilled every 3 months. Covered for life with free shipping for life. Use the link posted in the chat, and your purchase will help support the SFL through our partnership. Quip, a more wholesome clean. So 1st and 10, clock still rolling, minute 32 left to go here in the first half. OKC with 2 timeouts, Indy with 3. Gonna throw it deep, and it's got Pratchard again. Pratchard into the end zone, past the pylon, touchdown OKC.
What a game for Pratchard in his second touchdown. Went around that ref. He even had to go around the ref and he knocked the ref over along the way too. But a great job getting open on the left side of the field and having enough room along the sideline to get in for that touchdown. Just great play watching that develop for Nickens and knowing where to put that football so that Pratchard had an opportunity to get into the end zone. Great play by Oklahoma City.
Pratchard now with his second touchdown grab of the evening. Puts him over the century mark in just the first half. Bit of an awkward snap there. Hold is good, up and through. 21-10 now your score in favor of the Renegades. And the Spitfire reeling a little bit here with 1:27 left to go in the half.
Score's starting to get away from them just a little bit. You know, you definitely have a lot of time, but you want to make sure you narrow that gap a little bit more before halftime gets here.
Omega boots it downfield. Fielded inside the 10-yard line. Going to bring it up the field. Has blockers on the far sideline. I thought he could have gone for a little bit more there as he stopped right at the 30-yard line. And that is where they will take over for what might be the last possession here of the first half.
Just some unlucky play from Indianapolis on that last drive with that interception. The quarterback got scared, I think, and threw the ball a little too quickly.
TD Drew takes the snap, throws over the middle of the field into double coverage. Incomplete. John Gregory out there with the coverage on Leonidas Richards.
That was a very risky throw. It's good that the only thing that happened was it fell incomplete. There were too many people around him and too close to the football. So I guess good try by Richards to reel that in, but it's probably a throw you don't want to make.
2nd and 10, 1:18 left to go. All 3 timeouts for the Spitfire. Drew is going to throw over the middle of the field, tipped and incomplete. Once again, that's Gregory out there on coverage and the deflection, and that falls to the turf. It'll be 3rd and long now for Indy.
TD Drew is really making these risky throws, trying to get him over the middle, and it's coming very close to backfiring on him. That one was tipped almost right into the hands of a defensive player for Oklahoma City.
So now 3 wide receivers towards the bottom of the screen. Drew in the gun. Takes the low snap. He'll throw the out routes, and that is well short of the first down marker. Farrell with the catch, but it's going to be 4th and 7 coming up with 1:12 frozen on the clock.
You know, sometimes you just take when you can get. Any yards you can get will make it better when you have to punt the football. You know, it may not be the full first down you're looking for, but if you can gain 3 yards as opposed to holding the ball back and having to punt from further away, just take what you can get.
OKC not coming after the punt, as they will field it right at about the 30-yard line. Out to the 33 they go, and that is where OKC will take over. Was not anticipating a 3 and out there by Indianapolis, Marcus, so we will see another possession here before we hit the end of the first half.
I wasn't anticipating it either. I was wondering if they were going to be able to get some points before half. I know they had wanted it as well. Now it's time to see whether or not their defense is going to be able to get a stop, because they don't want to go down more than 11 going into halftime.
Pitch play to Doyle, trying to follow blockers, and he'll get about 4 as OKC runs a little no huddle. Nickens to throw this time. He'll pump fake, go the opposite direction, and he had a man. It just falls incomplete. I believe he was looking for D'Angelo on the play.
I think he was spinning back, turning around to get a view of that football, and you know, when he was just turning, it went right past him. Unfortunately, and hit the ground, but that's unfortunate. That's one of those easy catches he could have taken straight out of bounds to stop the clock.
So 3rd and 6 now. Nickens with a 7-step drop, steps up in the pocket. He's thrown. He's going to throw deep down the sideline, and that falls incomplete. It would have been a heck of a grab, but I believe it was too far out of bounds there.
You know, I think he might have been able to catch that depending on whether or not Nickens had not been hit when he threw the ball. As soon as the quarterback gets hit when he releases the football, one of 2 things can happen. Either it'll go straight out of bounds, or it'll go probably straight to a defender. So they got lucky that it didn't get hit further off course, but that's one of those things where if he had an extra second, they might have been able to complete that pass.
So we'll have another punt here. 2 punts within about 30 seconds of each other. Hunter Jones fielding it at about the 20 or so. They'll bring it out to the 28-yard line. 33 seconds left to go. Indy with all 3 timeouts. The Renegades with 2. So still plenty of time here to put some points on the board.
They definitely do have plenty of time. You'd be surprised what you can do with 30 seconds in the SFL. But they need to make sure they play smart football.
Three wide receivers at the bottom of the screen. Drew is going to throw it to Swearingen coming out of the backfield, and he's hit only after a gain of about 3. Indy goes no huddle. Still with all 3 timeouts, 20 seconds and counting. Drew takes the snap. He's going to give a handoff to Swearingen, who gets stopped in the backfield. And Indy might be content just counting their losses here and going into the locker room at the half.
Yep. I think it started as soon as they threw it over to Swearingen and he wasn't able to get out of bounds and the clock kept running. That just bled away too much of their valuable time on the clock.
21-10, your score at the half. The Oklahoma City Renegades on top of the Indianapolis Spitfire. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music live on YouTube. We'll get you the 2K Sports halftime show here in just a few seconds. And we'll be back with the second half of action here in just a moment. Welcome back into the broadcast booth. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Eric Vinson, alongside Marcus Dunhill. We have Avery Allen tonight in the stats truck for us. Be sure to hit us up on Discord as you look at our Discord users towards the top of the screen there. Indy got the first half kickoff. They're going to go ahead and kick things off for the second half. And they got to turn things around here in a hurry if they want to keep themselves in this ball game. Oklahoma City with all the momentum right now as a vicious hit there. And I'm trying to see who that was. I thought that was Wall, but I think that was one of the receivers there. Actually, tight end Brick House.
Man, what a hit. That was a really good hit. I like that. This game really has been so far in the hands of Oklahoma City. You can see they're up by 11 points right now. They've just had that passing game going much stronger than Indianapolis has.
3 wide receivers towards the bottom of the screen. Nickens is going to swing it out to Doyle instead. Doyle running through defenders, and I think he just barely got knocked out of bounds. It'll be a gain of 4 on the play.
That was kind of confusing to me. I wasn't sure if he stepped out at first, and it looked like he was going to go around and continue running, and then he kind of stopped. I guess the refs blew the whistle on him, unfortunately, but that could have been a great play if he had stayed in.
Want to give some chat shout-outs to everybody out there. Ashley Jackson, Dwayne Schindler, Donger, Tommy Gunn, Joshua Williams, Tyrone Jones, Tyler Lucero, Parker. I believe that's Carter as well. Tom Schaefer, want to thank you guys for coming out. As Doyle is going to get a pass from Deacon Nickens, who was hit as he's thrown. That was some harassing defense there by the Spitfire. And that's going to result in a 3rd and long coming up.
I like that. That was kind of funny. The pressure came in on the quarterback, and Nickens was like, uh-oh, I don't want to get hit. You take it. And he threw it over to Doyle, and Doyle got hit. So good job, I guess, by Nickens to get rid of the football.
Offset I formation on this 3rd and 9. Wide open man towards the top of the screen there. And I believe that's Jaflecius D'Angelo with a huge catch to move the chains for the Renegades.
They found some wide open space on the right side of the field. See, we can see from, oh, well, I guess we just get him carrying the football. But, yeah, he was over on the right side of the field. He just wasn't covered and was able to pick up a great gain. So good job by Nickens to see that and throw the ball.
Don't worry, Hunter Jones. I see you over there. Hunter Jones is in the chat, too. I got you. Special shout-out to Ashley Jackson and Andrew Hamilton, our mods for this evening. And your commissioner, Cameron Irvine, in the chat as well a little bit. I want to thank you guys for coming and checking us out. As J.W. Doyle gets a pass out of the backfield, and he'll make it out to the 37-yard line, close to moving the sticks again. And Marcus, OKC's just has all the momentum right now and just tearing up the Indy defense.
They have, and you know, Nickens is almost 260 yards passing. They just keep moving that football.
Offset I formation, 2nd and short. This play has been problematic for the Renegades, but Easy Temple not able to drag down Doyle before he's moving the sticks for another 1st down.
Looks like Doyle was just barely able to make it over the line. I was not even sure if he made it over the line, but they gave him that 1st down anyway.
Single back is Doyle. 2 wide receivers towards the top of the screen for Nickens. He's under pressure. He'll throw it quickly out to Doyle, who's got speed, and he'll make it out to the 27-yard line before he had really anybody touching him at all. Gain of 9 on the play. Good play there, Marcus. What you see?
Doyle was able to get over to the left side, and nobody was really following him. Caught it 9 yards, and they were finally able to tackle him, but since there was a couple defenders bringing him down, he wasn't able to get to that 1st down marker. But a great job and an opportunity for them to hand it off here again and see if he can punch it up the middle for another gain.
And it will be a Doyle handoff, trying to follow blockers, lowering his shoulders. He does get forward progress across the 1st down marker to the 25. Paul Connolly coming up and trying to stand him up.
That was another close one. I thought maybe they would run it up the middle, but he tried to go around to the right side. And it did work for them, but I think that was potentially a generous spot for Oklahoma City, but he must have got that ball over the line.
"21-10 your score in favor of the Renegades, and looking for Bovine there is Deacon Nickens. That falls incomplete. Just led him a little bit too far there, Marcus.
Yep, you got to be careful when you throw that football. You don't want to throw it out of the reach of your receivers. You know, they have a hard enough job as it is sometimes trying to catch that football. But they're still in a good spot on the field, and it's only 2nd down.
Get a look at Rich Pratchett's numbers there. 4 catches on 6 targets, over 100 yards receiving. Pitch play out to Doyle, and again, that play has been problematic for the Renegades. Feast or famine, and that time it was definitely famine, losing a trio of yards there to the 28.
Yeah, it seems like the running for Oklahoma City has definitely been hit or miss in this game. Sometimes they're going for big gains, and other times they're going for losses.
So 3rd and forever now for the Renegades, who seem to have hit a wall. Offset I formation. Nickens with a 7-step drop. He'll step up. He throws it deep over the middle of the field. Tipped and almost intercepted again. That looked very, very similar to the interception in the back of the end zone. But it falls incomplete. We will probably see a Johnny Omega field goal attempt.
Yeah, that line was just collapsing all around him, and he didn't have a whole lot of time to get rid of that football, but he figured, you know, here we'll just take a chance and get it. If not, we're still up 11 points and we can kick a field goal. So as long as it isn't an interception, it's not a terrible play for Oklahoma City.
45-yard attempt for Omega to extend the lead to 2 touchdowns. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up and away. It is through from 44. That will lengthen the lead to a 14-point lead for the Renegades. 24-10 is the score now as we get another look here.
Field goal is good, and now they have to dig themselves out of being down 2 scores. That's a tough thing to do in the second half, but it's definitely possible. All it takes is, you know, a touchdown and either a turnover or a stop, and you're back in the game again.
The SFL is presented by APM Music, Production Music Library, and Custom Music House, and brought to you in part by Bit Central and Fuel. Harry's, all you need for a close, comfortable shave. Matt Doyle Designs, official design partner of the SFL, as Hunter Jones brings it up the field, and he will make it out to the 30-yard line. That is where the Spitfire will take over for their first possession of the second half. And also a very special birthday shout-out to Mr. Andy Hamilton. Happy birthday, Andy.
Time to see what Indianapolis here is going to do. You know, one of the things that makes it so tough for them is they've thrown so much. It looks like Keith Swearingen only has 4 running attempts in the game.
Empty set here for Drew. He's going to throw it towards the near sideline and somehow caught. There was the secondary members of the Renegades all around him, but somehow able to catch it and get an 8-yard gain.
I think that's a pretty lucky throw by T.D. Drew. It looked like he just went right over a defender, was going a little bit too in front of the football, and unfortunately wasn't able to get it. But a great job for Indianapolis to get that football.
So 2nd and 2 from the 38 now. Drew to throw. He's going to throw deep towards the far sideline. He's got a man out to the 29-yard line. And that's a heck of a play there by the former Legion member, Trevor Farrell.
That's the type of plays that you want to see from T.D. Drew and Trevor Farrell. They did a great job getting over to the left side of the field, and it looked like there's just Jam Pearson was over there but was not able to get a hand or try to defend that football. So they found a great space on the left side of the field to get that big chunk of yards.
2 backs in the gun for T.D. Drew and company. Huge pass sets them up with great field position. Drew's going to throw it to the near sideline, and he's got his man. That is Leonidas Richards. He has been targeted a bunch of times, 10 right now. I believe that's his 11th, as he gets a 6-yard gain.
Looks like with that last play, Trevor Farrell is now the leading receiver for Indianapolis, at least on for this game. And before that, it had been Leonidas Richards.
2nd and 4 from the 24. 2 wide receivers towards the top of the screen. Drew to throw. He'll throw it to the far sideline. That's caught and then fumbled out of bounds. And looks like Richards with one of his first mistakes there on the evening, but lucky for him, he was already tight-roping the sideline there.
Very lucky they were on the sideline. Let's take another look at exactly how this happened. So he caught the ball, turned up field, and just got hit and the ball came out. But yeah, lucky for him, he just fumbled straight out of bounds, so nothing bad's going to come of that.
So 1st and 10 now from the 11 into the SFL red zone. Just under 6 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. Drew to throw again. He's in trouble. He's hit as he's thrown, and a diving catch made. They'll mark him down just shy of the 1-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and 1. Good catch by Daly.
Good catch by Daly, and very lucky to be able to catch that after he got hit, especially with how many defenders were around that football. That worked out perfectly and gives them an opportunity here to try to punch it in.
Indy needs this to keep themselves afloat. Drew has pressure coming at him. He'll check it down. And he'll lose about maybe 6 inches on the play. That's Richards again. And he's been targeted a ton, just not a ton of yardage there to speak of.
Usually they go for him in those out routes, and that opportunity there, you know, they flipped it out to him, but he just could not get out of the reach of the Oklahoma City defenders.
3rd and short now from the 2. Could still get the first down. We'll see what happens here. Swearingen coming out of the backfield. He's backtracking. Somehow gets out of that tackle, and he doesn't cross the pylon, but he will get enough to get the first down.
That was interesting. When he got the ball, he started going backwards, turned back upfield, and looks like he might have stepped out.
Ooh, we'll see what happens here, though, because Oklahoma City is going to be challenging whether or not he stepped out of bounds or if he crossed that pylon here. We'll get another Harry's Close Shave, Close Call challenge and take a look.
This is going to be an interesting ruling because it looked like, yeah, it looked like he stepped out. He might have stepped out short of the first down marker.
After review, the player stepped out of bounds. The Renegades will not be charged with a timeout. 4th down.
So it's a successful challenge for Oklahoma City. I'm not entirely sure what the result really is of that play.
It's now going to be 3rd down instead of first down.
No, it's going to be it's going to be 4th down. They're going to mark him short. Indy's still on the field, though. They know they need this, trying to draw OKC off sides. Still 15 seconds on the play clock. Plenty of time to run a play. Drew trying to draw them off sides desperately. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, though. He'll burn a timeout here for Indy.
That's a heartbreaker for Indianapolis. They tried to draw him off to get that first down, but unfortunately now they're going to have to settle for a field goal instead of taking another couple shots at the end zone.
So terrible turn of events here, and Oklahoma City with the eagle eyes there, able to throw the challenge flag and make sure that they don't get the first down.
You know, it's still a little bit early, but that particular challenge could be the deciding factor in this game for Oklahoma City, just making sure that they stay down an extra 4 points.
It absolutely could be the difference here. Another chip shot field goal for Indy. 17 yards, actually 18 yards up and through. So that's going to be a score of 13-24 in favor of the Oklahoma City Renegades. And boy, oh boy, was Indy hoping to get in the end zone there.
Yeah, points are good. You know, it's still not hopeless for them. There's still plenty of time left in this game. But they were really making quite a statement on that drive and moving the football. It's too bad they had to settle for just a field goal.
So another chip shot Vinchek field goal results in 3 more points for the Spitfire. And good blocking there by the Oklahoma City return game out to the 31-yard line, and that's where Deacon Nickens will take over for another possession.
We've had some very close kick returns. Seemed like people were, you know, just one break tackle away from breaking out a big return in it. You know, you looked at the left side of the field on that return, and there was a lot of open space.
3 wide receivers for Nickens. He's going to check it down to Doyle. He's in trouble. He'll get out of the first tackler, not the second, as Peyton Ellison able to wrap him up after a 4-yard gain.
Doyle has had quite the interesting two-sided game. He seems to have some really good runs and then some times where they really read it. And those two are really keeping his yards per run number down in this particular game.
Indy defense spreading things out a little bit. Nickens is going to throw deep. He's got a man tipped, and it's intercepted. Going back the other way is Steve Vitek, weaving his way through the defenders. He'll make it out to the Oklahoma City 46-yard line. Great field position for the Spitfire off the turnover.
You want some life and fight out of Indianapolis? That'll do it for you. They just came off a field goal. Now they get the ball back again. Another big tip play from one defender to the other, and it seems like that's working out really well for Indianapolis. That's the second time they've got an interception off a tipped ball from one of their other defenders. So now the offense has another chance to redeem themselves and get into the end zone.
I believe that was Paul Connolly with the tip and then VTAC with the interception. So great play by the Spitfire defense, sets their offense up nicely here at the 46. Drew pump fakes. He'll check it down to Swearingen coming out of the backfield. Couldn't quite keep his foot in bounds, and probably for the better, as that'll be an incomplete pass.
Yep. Better to be incomplete, otherwise you're going to be losing a yard there, and then you're going to lose time on the clock. It's one of those plays that's better off you just don't catch it.
4:02 left here in the third quarter of action. 24-13 your score. The Oklahoma City Renegades on top for the time being, but the Spitfire getting another turnover, and they are driving here as they get Swearingen with a rare handoff, and he makes it out to the 45-yard line where it'll be 3rd and long still.
That's going to be Swearingen's 5th run for this game, so you know, it's hard to get him going when he's run so few times. You know, you just can't get into that rhythm. Now they're going to need to convert this 3rd down to continue this drive.
4 wide receivers, trips towards the top of the screen. Drew, he's going to throw it towards the far sideline. He's got Hunter Jones, and that's going to be a 1st down, moving the Spitfire out to the 35.
Hunter Jones made a very good play to make sure he was able to, after he got the football, get over the line for the 1st down before he got out of bounds. You know, even if he would have gotten out of bounds before that 1st down marker, they probably would have had to punt the football. So great job by Hunter Jones to make sure to keep this drive going.
Spitfire going to roll with the same formation. Trips towards the top of the screen. Drew's going to throw it over the middle this time. A diving attempt and incomplete. Looking for Hunter Jones, but good coverage out there by Brady Clark and company.
Just too many people around the ball for Hunter Jones to get his hands on it. It looked like the ball might have been thrown a little bit too low, but maybe thought Hunter would just be able to get his hands on it, but unfortunately he wasn't able to.
2nd and 10 from the 35. 2 backs in the gun with Drew, 2 wide receivers towards the top of the screen. Drew to throw. He'll throw it deep over the middle of the field, tipped around, and almost caught. That would have been really something if Leonidas Richards came up with that.
Yeah, usually when you see the ball tipped, it's the defense that's going for the catch. But that time, Richards was trying to catch the ball off a tipped deflection from Oklahoma City. You don't see that too often.
So another 3rd down, and again, they're going to go with this formation with trips towards the top of the screen. Leonidas Richards one-on-one down here at the bottom. Drew's going to throw, and he's got a wide open man over the middle of the field, a diving catch, and that's Trevor Farrell, a very similar looking play as the last one. This time Farrell with the catch, and he's got over 80 yards tonight.
Farrell with 87 yards just found some space right over the middle, and the defenders were just not even close to him, and he was able to catch that ball, and here we got a 1st down, and Spitfire keep moving.
Into the SFL red zone. Indy Spitfire looking for a touchdown here. Drew shuffling in the pocket. He'll throw it over the middle of the field, and he's got his man. That's Farrell once again, and that's going to be a 1st and goal out to the 1-yard line. Marcus, they've had trouble from this point, though. We'll have to see what the Spitfire do, but we'll get a look at the replay here.
First drive of the game, they went straight down to the goal line and weren't able to get in. Their 2nd drive they were, but they have struggled a bit, and if they can get this touchdown, they'll be within potentially 4 points if they can make the extra point. So we'll see if they can get into the end zone here.
Drew's going to throw again. Pressure coming. He'll throw it in the back of the end zone. Referees all over the place. Also in coverage, I guess, with the Renegades. That was a bit of a bizarro play, but it hits the turf incomplete.
You know, the field gets so shrunk when you end up in the end zone. Those safeties are up so close, and they're able to cover very easily with those corners, so it makes it much harder to get those balls into the end zone.
Well, especially teams like the Spitfire that like to spread things out and are constantly throwing the football makes it increasingly more difficult for them. And again, Drew going to throw the football. He'll throw it towards the bottom of the field there, and that is tipped and incomplete. Probably needed to loft it a little bit more to Richards there to make sure he gets in the end zone.
That was a great tip because I think if that ball hadn't been tipped, they would have had a wide open touchdown. But yeah, the ball was definitely way too low, and yeah, for Richards to catch that, you'd have to loft it over the defender. He didn't even have to jump too high for that.
It's a little bit of a pivot route there, but definitely a good job of the coverage staying with him the whole way. OKC faithful on their feet here at Robbers Cave. 3rd and goal from the 1 for the Spitfire. Drew to throw, pressure coming, he's in trouble and he goes down. Sacked back at the 7-yard line, and that's not what Indy wanted here.
Indianapolis just are not doing themselves enough favors to be able to stay competitive in this football game right now. And all the credit to Oklahoma City for keeping him out of the end zone. But when you're Indianapolis and you're down by 11 points and you got that takeaway, you know, you can't keep settling for field goals or you're just going to run out of time.
So another chip shot field goal here by Indy. It is up and through, this time from 24 yards. So Adam Vinchek has been busy. And another 3 points go on the board here for Indy off of the turnover.
You know, it's still good. It's 3 points last drive, 3 points this drive. So now they're up 6 points, and it's now, you know, an 8-point game. So they can do it in 1 touchdown and a 2-point conversion. But you don't want to have to keep putting your game back on your defense. Your offense needs to continue to get those points.
And that's a good point there, Marcus. A 1-possession ball game now, as it is only an 8-point lead for OKC. Good blocking down on the return here as OKC is streaking down at the bottom of the screen. I believe that was Bubba Marshall there with the return, and he finally breaks one a bit to the 47-yard line.
Man, that was easily the best return we've seen all game, and he just had plenty of blocks. Was going to go to the right, too many people went to the left, and you know, it wasn't fast enough to get around, but that is amazing field position for Oklahoma City to start at. They're almost at midfield already.
So good starting field position here for OKC, hoping to extend their lead. Deacon Nickens was looking pretty immortal there in the first half, but now he's got 2 interceptions on his resume. Nickens going to throw deep over the middle of the field, and again tipped and incomplete. He was in one-on-one coverage there with Connolly, and what a great play to bat the ball down.
Not only was it a good play to bat the ball down, but it was good pressure from Indianapolis. There were rushers on the left and right of Nickens, so he got rid of the football. And the reason that was probably able to be tipped is because I think Nickens rushed getting that ball out of there.
3 wide receivers for Nickens to work with here. Doyle in the backfield. Nickens to throw. He's in trouble. He's stepping around, spinning around, and finally goes down. Good pressure there by the Indy defensive front, knocking him down for a loss.
Spinning out of that was not enough, you know. I think he had hoped that it would give him a little bit more time, but turned right back around into it and got maybe about an extra second. But with nobody open, you know, the best option would have been probably to throw the ball away, but he probably thought he would have gotten more time.
And Marcus, as the quarterback, you know that timer in your head has to be going off as Nickens in trouble again. He's just going to kind of shovel it out of bounds there, and he does the right thing by just simply getting rid of the football.
Maybe another reason that he didn't get rid of the football so quickly when he went down was a very similar play happened to Indianapolis, where Oklahoma City rushed, got out of the way of the defender, and then immediately threw the football and threw an interception. So you got to be very careful.
So we'll see Ethan Ellis to punt once again for OKC. Indy not getting to the punt. Good hang time as it's fielded right about the 25-yard line. They'll give him maybe the 6 inches out to the 26-yard line, and that's where Indy will take over. So the defense doing their job there, Marcus, keeping them in the ball game here in just a 1-possession ball game.
Yep, but that offense needs to continue to move forward, and they can't keep settling for field goals. So let's see if the offense can return the favor that the defense is giving them here.
Offset I formation. Three wide receivers for TD Drew. Drew will throw. He's going to throw deep. He's got a man wide open. That's Leonidas Richards once again. Is anyone going to catch him? He's at the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Indianapolis.
What a play from Indianapolis. I wasn't sure if they were going to dive for him and try to catch him, but let's take a look at that replay and see what exactly happened to the coverage for Leonidas Richards. It looks like the receiver just wasn't able to stay with him on that particular run. Waited a little too long to turn around and follow him, and gave him just enough time to be able to run away from him.
Absolutely. Brady Clark in coverage on that play, just a little late on the pivot. And that gives Leonidas Richards and the Spitfire the opportunity to score the touchdown. Now, with it being a one-possession ball game, they're going to go for 2 here to try and tie the score up. Drew, play action, shuffling around. He'll throw it opposite side. He's got his man open, and that's the 2-point conversion there for Hunter Jones. Tie ball game here in OKC.
You know, this is quite the interesting game. When we went into halftime, it was 10-21. So far, Indianapolis has scored 14 points, it looks like, coming back from that. And during that particular time, OKC has only scored 3. So Indianapolis has definitely outscored Oklahoma City here in the second half.
The Indy defense keeping them in the ball game, especially with that turnover. 2 field goals and then the touchdown and the 2-point conversion result in the tie ball game you see now. And it's quite a turn of events from what we were seeing there in the first half, as it looked like OKC had all the momentum, Marcus.
Yep. You know, I don't want to say it's time to panic for Oklahoma City, but they need to worry a little bit more about how they play. You know, before they were up by quite a bit and they could kind of do what they want and take time off the clock, but now they need to start scoring points as well.
Offset I formation for Nickens. He'll take a short drop, has an open man, got it over the middle of the field. That's caught out to the 35-yard line, gain of 8 on first down.
Great safe pass. Nobody was around him. Those are good plays. You know, you can pick up, 5, 6, 7, 8 yards anytime there's an opportunity to, and only risk throwing the football when you need to.
We might see one more play here before the end of the third quarter. We will. It's a swing out to J.W. Doyle with a vicious spin move. I love the spin cycle there, and he's able to make it out to the 47-yard line to close out the third quarter.
Not only was he able to spin out of that, but that blocker was able to push another defender off to the sidelines, and he essentially was able to spin out, and they blocked 2 people with 1 block.
And folks, we got a ball game here in Oklahoma City. 24-all, Renegades, Spitfire. Who's going to come out? We'll find out. You're watching the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music, live on YouTube. And the SFL is brought to you by MediaTek Institute. Visit mediatek.edu for diploma programs. Turn your passion into profession, as J.W. Doyle gets a handoff and a loss on the play. MeUndies, the world's most comfortable underwear for men and women. Movement, premium watches, sunglasses, and accessories. Quip, perfect oral care delivered. Richards Printworks, the official shop of the SFL. ScoreStream, the official score updates app of the SFL. And SpyGoat, the sound choice. So a 2nd and 12 now from the 45. Nickens is going to throw. He's got a man wide open on that far sideline there. And a little hop, skip, and jump there for Pratchett as he's able to get across the first down marker to the 41.
Moving the football on the other side of the 50 now. Great job catching it and not going out of bounds and just getting that extra yard that they needed for that first down. You know, it's been quite the air game for both teams. Oklahoma City is nearing 40 passing attempts, but they've diversified a little bit more with the running attempts than Indianapolis has.
Pitch play to J.W. Doyle, and again, Indy ready for that play. There's only been a couple times today that has gone for a big gain. This time, not so much, a big loss. Steve Vitak getting in there and making the stop. Second and 13 from the 45. 9:45 and counting left to go in the ball game. Nickens in trouble. He'll throw it over to the far sideline. That's Bovine, and he somehow caught it. But good coverage out there by the Spitfire secondary. And Deacon Nickens really had no business throwing that football.
We have quite a few new people in the chat today, it looks like. While we have an opportunity between plays, I want to just give a little bit of information about what this league is for the newer people to see exactly what's going on here.
Nickens to throw. He'll throw it over the middle of the field. That's caught again by Pratchett for a first down. Moving the chains to the 31. Go ahead and give them that info there, Marcus.
So what this is this is the Simulation Football League, 21 teams, and it's a controllerless esport in which each team has 12 human players on it that are created, maintained, and made better by people all over the country and even all over the world. Like the quarterbacks, receivers, corners, a bunch of the defensive players. And I can give you guys a little bit more information after this play.
Nickens to throw on first down. He's going to check it down to J.W. Doyle. Good stop there by the Spitfire defense. Go ahead, Marcus.
So what we do is we take all these players on these 21 teams, and there are 21 teams in the league, and the coaches and the owners for those teams make playbooks every week scouting their opponents and put in the plays, and the sim engine from this game goes ahead and runs these simulations, and that's what we see here.
And Nickens is in trouble. He's stepping up in the pocket, and oh man, was that pocket collapsing quickly. The Spitfire able to get in there and make the sack. 3rd and 14 coming up here for OKC, and they look dead in the water right now.
So for anybody who is interested in this or is new to the league, we have a Discord in which you can join. You can ask questions, get to know people, and even become one of these players on any of the teams in this league. It's a great opportunity, and I'd highly recommend it for anybody who is brand new and wants to see what this league's all about.
And thank you for providing all that info there, Marcus. We got a lot of new folks there in the chat. Want to welcome each and every one of you guys here as we see Deacon Nickens completing it again to Tiberius Bovine. He's been busy as well. I believe that's his 8th catch on the evening.
I'm so glad all the new people are enjoying it. It's a lot of information to take in, but trust me, getting your player on the field and getting to watch it's an amazing feeling.
Doyle's going to get a swing pass there, trying to hit the spin cycle, not able to get away from the defender. They'll make it out to the 14-yard line into the SFL red zone. It looked like Aaron Wall was in there on the stop. His counterpart, Ryan Wall, has been making a lot of plays here for the Spitfire defense. We'll see if they can make one more. Nickens going to throw it. It's first down and more. And that is a great catch by Jaflecius D'Angelo, able to extend the drive, making it out to the 1-yard line for OKC.
Time for OKC to put this ball in the end zone. Great catch and move up field, and good job stopping him right before the end zone. It looks like it took 2 people to bring him down, and they did pull him down before he was able to get a touchdown. Now let's see what this Spitfire defense can do and see if they can keep Oklahoma City out of the end zone.
We'll see if OKC will just feed the beast. J.W. Doyle, they do. He slips out of the first tackler and somehow gets into the end zone. OKC retakes the lead.
Doyle's had a bit of a struggle tonight. He's definitely not playing as good as he did some previous weeks, but he's helping out the team where he needs it and is able to get that touchdown. So another touchdown to add to the stat sheet, and that's going to put Oklahoma City up by 6 until this pending extra point.
Back and forth we go, and as you mentioned, Marcus, this a more passing-oriented attack that the Renegades are going with here tonight.
Looks like Oklahoma City has yet to rush for 50 yards in this game.
And up and through, so it is a 7-point ball game in favor of the Renegades as they retake the lead on the J.W. Doyle run. And going into this game, they were second and third on the passing yards per game. Each team was. I believe it was Indy just ahead of OKC. I can't remember which one it is, but I know they're both up there in the top 5 in passing yards per game within the SFL, which is incredible. And Hunter Henry's going to bring it out to the 28-yard line. Excuse me, Hunter Jones. Hunter Henry's plays in a different league.
Time for Indianapolis to respond, and they've done quite a bit of passing in this game. They've only done 5 running attempts in the entire game, and they've passed the ball 44 times, so that's quite a bit of offense.
OKC stacking the box here, as the Spitfire only come out with 2 wide receivers. High snap, Drew's going to throw. He'll throw it over the middle of the field. He had a man, but good coverage there, able to jar the ball loose. He was looking for Dan Daly, who's had trouble holding on to the ball tonight.
He's had a few drops, one big drop, and then a few times where he's just gotten hit while come in contact with the football. But, you know, he's got to find a way to hold on to that football when he gets hit. You really can't keep letting the ball go through your hands.
Certainly not when it gets to crunch time like this. 6.5 minutes to go here in the ball game. Down by 7. TD Drew with trips towards the bottom of the screen. He's going to throw it over the middle. That's caught. And that's Leonidas Richards with another catch. He will extend the drive out to the 40-yard line. I believe we've got an injured player on the field. It's Gannon Slater, slow to get up.
Leonidas Richards has easily been probably the most reliable wide receiver, leading them in yards right now. Around 148 yards for him. So he's definitely been their leading receiver. 13 out of 17 targets.
He's been a big-time target tonight. And looks like it was a little bit of a hammy pull on that injury there. We'll get you an update once we have one. But it's a 1st and 10 from the 40 now. Drew is going to throw. He throws it over the middle of the field. That's caught by Hunter Jones. And gang tackled by a couple Renegades out there at the 47.
Both quarterbacks are at almost 400 yards passing. You can see a 10-yard difference between the two. But, you know, for a game like this, that's pretty incredible. It's pretty crazy to see 400 yards come out of any quarterback, let alone both of them.
Two backs in the backfield. OKC was 7 in the box. Drew to throw. He'll throw it over the middle. That's caught. And a dangerous throw there is the safety Brady Clark was right in the vicinity, but Dan Daly able to hang on to that one.
Yep, that's a good opportunity for him to show that he can hold on to the football. He was in front of the ball and was just able to... Man, I'm kind of surprised he actually held on to that. That was a great one, considering the side he was hit from was the side the football was on. But he did a really good job making sure he didn't lose control of the football.
So into opposing territory, the OKC 30. And a good throw there, and he's still not down. I was waiting for Trevor Farrell to get up and just waltz into the end zone because of a diving tackler not able to make the touch.
Yep, you just got to touch the guy who's down on the ground, and took a dive over him. Unfortunately, didn't touch him. He was able to get back up.
Drew in the gun, takes the high snap, steps up in the pocket. He's going to gun it towards the near sideline. That's caught in the corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Trevor Farrell.
Man, Farrell is really starting to put up a fight for, you know, who's, you know, the most productive wide receiver in this game right now. And, you know, it's quite a fight between the two of them. They're very close in numbers, and it looks like Leonidas Richards is up by about a touchdown. But both receivers are doing extremely well for their team.
Yeah, that's the 3rd touchdown thrown by TD Drew. 2 of them going to Richards, 1 of them going to Farrell. Extra point pending that will tie the ball game. That is good. So we are tied once again here in OKC with just under 5 minutes left to go in regulation. 31-31 your score. Back and forth we go. We've got a ball game here. Don't you go away.
You know, for a time it seemed like both teams were struggling to put on the points, and then all of a sudden it's all out air raid and points are coming from both sides of the field.
Then check to boot it down the field. Fielded by Marshall, who had a decent return earlier. This time he gets booted right at the 29-yard line. Eric Vincent alongside Marcus Dunhill, Avery Allen in the stat truck for us this evening. And I want to thank you guys for checking out this final game of the Week 5 slate. Season 12 of the Simulation Football League. A lot of new folks in the chat. Just keep an eye out for our mods there. We've got Andrew Hamilton and Ashley Jackson. They will take care of you. Any information you know, feel free to let them know. So 1st and 10 here for Deacon Nickens. And a diving attempt at a tackle. Tiberius Bovine able to make it past the first down marker out to the 42-yard line.
It was close. I thought maybe he was diving for that football there, and if he could have gotten that, that would have been quite the play. Oh, no, it looked like it might have been just for a tackle. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it, and Bovine was able to go for the first down.
And shout-outs in the chat. I see Xander Gold, Tom Pepper, Who's Not, Christian Punt, Tyrone Jones, Cart the Robots. Got a bunch of different folks in there tonight. Some familiar faces, some not so familiar. As J.W. Doyle gets a pitch play, able to get himself skinny, make it through the line, out to the 48-yard line, gain of 6 on the play.
And, you know, anybody who's watching in chat, you could be on any of these 21 teams and a part of the league. Just make sure you get our Discord link or head over to simulationfl.net to get an invite to that Discord and see what the league's all about.
Great information to have. Deacon Nickens to throw again, and he's going to throw to the near sideline. And that is Jaflecius D'Angelo with another catch, able to get some toe drag swag there, and not able to extend it past the first down marker, though. 3rd and short coming up.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. He did a good job catching that football, but it's very unfortunate that he was short of the first down.
So 3rd and short from the Indy 49. Doyle, the lone running back. And it's going to be another one of those pitch plays, trying to find some holes in the defense. And J.W. Doyle is loose. He's going to bring it out to the 32-yard line. What a heck of a play and a big gain, making it out for another first down and extending the drive.
Look at Doyle go. You know, this game has really been a fight in the air, but Doyle just was able to get a spin in a couple blocks and was able to take the fight to the ground as well.
And Mark, as we talked about this, that play has just been feast or famine all night long. And lucky for OKC, able to break through there and get a huge gain to keep their drive going.
Yeah, it's been very hit or miss from the running in this game from both sides of the field.
3 wide receivers for Nickens in the gun. Sidecar left is Doyle. Nickens in trouble. Pressure coming. Throws it over the middle of the field. Intended for D'Angelo. Good coverage out there by VTAC, who already has an interception on the day.
There was a lot of defenders around that football. The throw was pretty dangerous pass to make, and I'm kind of surprised Indianapolis didn't come up with that ball. But in a game like this where you're tied, one of those interceptions are
big time play here for both teams. 3rd and 10 from the 32. Nickens is going to throw deep. He's got a man in the middle of the field, and Bovine could not reel it in. He had his hands on it, could have extended the drive and made another first down. Instead, it'll be 4th and 10, and a long field goal is coming up here.
Man, those tight ends are just having a lot of trouble catching the football today. It's so unfortunate. He had to get rid of that football. Indianapolis was rushing him pretty good. He didn't have a whole lot of time to throw. But the ball was on the mark, just bounced off his hands, and that's very unfortunate. They're not even going to attempt a field goal. They're going to punt.
Yeah, that would have been a lengthy field goal attempt for Omega. So they're just going to try and pin The Spitfire back deep. Fielded at about the 10-yard line is Hunter Jones, and he'll bring it out to the 13-yard line. So a long way to go here for the Spitfire. 3:14, 2 timeouts left to go.
Wasn't the best punt in the world, but when you consider he kept it short of the end zone and it's at the 13 instead of the 20 or 25, it worked out better for Oklahoma City.
First and 10 from the 13. Quick throw to TD Drew, and that could have been a pick six. That could have been the ball game right there. It falls incomplete. Gaines out there on the coverage, and a great play by Greg Gaines.
Man, that is too bad for Oklahoma City. They really had an opportunity there to get that interception, and it probably would have been a pick six, and that would have put a lot of pressure on Indianapolis. But luckily, he couldn't come down with that for Indianapolis, and they get another shot here.
Second and 10 from the 13. Drew to throw again. He's going to throw to the far sideline again. This time it's an out route and complete to Richards for a 6-yard gain out to the 19.
Now you're at a tough position at 3rd and 4, whether or not you want to try to run it. They've only ran it 5 times so far in this game, so they definitely don't have a hot hand on the run. But then they need to get that pass, pick up that first down, or they'll be punting it back over to Oklahoma City.
Every down important here. 3rd and 4 from the 19 for the Spitfire. Short drop. Drew's going to throw, and again, that could have been going to the house.
Definitely not the end of the world, since they're going to be forcing Indianapolis to punt. But, you know, when a defender gets his hands on the football, you really want him to come down with that. But that's why they always have their saying that they play on defense for a reason and not as wide receiver in the league.
Schumacher, the man in coverage that time. So clock stopped at 3:04, 4th and 4. High snap, OKC coming after it. Punt gets away. Fielded at about the 38-yard line, maybe the 42-yard line, excuse me, out to the 46. 2:54 now frozen on the clock. And that is where they will take over once again. OKC will. And we'll see about if they can ice the game here. Back and forth we go. No, neither team ready to ice it yet.
Oklahoma City is pretty close to field goal range, but with 3 minutes left, I want to see which team's going to step up here and win the game.
Deacon Nickens the throw again. He's going to throw the deep bomb, and that's picked off going the other way. Indianapolis with a huge interception and setting them up with great field position to the Oklahoma City 43-yard line. Paul Connolly here just skies up and grabs it away from D'Angelo. And just a huge turn of events. As we mentioned, every down important from here on out. 2:45 left to go, and Indy with some good starting field position following the turnover. 3 wide receivers towards the bottom of the screen. Delayed handoff to Swearingen, who has not seen a ton of action on the ground. In fact, we'll get a look there at both running backs. Just barely under 3 yards of carry. A lot of passing attack here tonight. Another handoff to Keith Swearingen, and again, he's going to get stood up behind the line. I'm not sure why all of a sudden Indy is going for the run game, but it's not working out for them, and now it's a 3rd and long.
Maybe they just hoped with such few touches that they'd be able to catch them off balance and find those running lanes.
Get the quick 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to go here in regulation. Are we going to see a victor? Are we going to see overtime? Wait and find out. You're watching the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music. We're live on YouTube. Third and forever from the 46. Drew is going to throw. He'll throw it over the middle. Tipped and incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down and a punt. Quip Design delivers simple ways to keep your mouth healthy with time vibrations, brush head refills for $5, refilled every 3 months. Covered for life with free shipping for life. Use the link posted in the chat and your purchase will support the SFL through our partnership. Quip, a more wholesome clean. So unfortunately, Indy not able to do anything with that interception other than take some time off the clock. 1:57 frozen on the clock. OKC was looking to block the punt. Punt will bounce at about the 8, and a great diving attempt, or sliding attempt, excuse me, to keep the ball in bounds. Unfortunately, his momentum carries him into the end zone, so that's going to be a touchback. So a 1st and 10 from the 20 now. 1:48 left to go here in regulation. Nickens to throw. He's going to throw quickly towards the near sideline. Tipped and almost intercepted again.
Man, they seem to be rushing way too many throws right now, and Indianapolis is doing such a great job either knocking them down or getting their hands on them. You don't want to have 2 interceptions in a row under 3 minutes in this game trying to win this game. You got to be much more careful with the football if you're going to be Oklahoma City right now.
Indy at 1-3, Oklahoma City at 2-2, both still well within striking distance of the SFL playoffs as we move towards the middle part of the season. A completed pass out to the 26-yard line. It's going to be a 3rd and 4 for OKC going no huddle. Minute 30 and counting on the clock. Nickens to throw. He's got wide open Bovine, who wisely steps out of bounds, and that'll stop the clock with 1:27 left to go, moving the sticks.
Got to see what they can do. If they can score here before the end of regulation, they'll come away probably as the winner of the game. But they need to make sure they can get onto the other side of the field first.
Nickens has thrown it over 50 times. Almost 400 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. As Nickens will throw again. He's going to throw deep under the middle of the field, and that's incomplete. Almost intercepted there. Peyton Ellison with good coverage.
When you see a quarterback make a long throw that quickly, they generally think they have something pretty good open down the field, and it was a good job by Indianapolis making sure they could knock that down and that it didn't make it to the receiver. Because when they get those long bombs, it's just very tough to catch those receivers once they get running.
Nickens doesn't like something at the line. He's changing things up. 4 on the play clock. Snaps the ball. Nickens looking. Pocket collapsing. Throws it towards the near sideline. Diving attempt incomplete. They're going to mark it at 3rd and inches off of that Bovine catch. Nickens snaps the ball. He'll get the 1st down. Moving out across midfield to mark him right at midfield. As J.W. Doyle gets the catch there. Another no huddle here. Nickens to throw. Nickens with time hit as he's thrown. And that's again caught over the middle of the field. OKC with all 3 timeouts, electing to go no huddle. Another throw by Nickens. He has a man tipped around, almost intercepted. It was hanging around on the defender's back for about a good minute or 2.
You know, I think that ball was on that defender's back for longer than it was in the air. If he would have held still, one of his defenders could have just pulled it off his back.
So after the string of no huddles, 36 seconds left in regulation. 3rd and 4 for the Renegades. Nickens to throw. He's going to check it down to Doyle. Doyle trying to get enough to move the sticks. He'll be stopped right at the 41-yard line, just shy of moving the sticks, and OKC will burn their 1st time out.
Now the thing is, it's 4th down, and you're probably not in field goal range. So what do? I guess you just gotta either go for it or punt it back, and it looks like they're gonna be going for it.
Gutsy call here. We'll see if Nickens and company actually run a play. They will. Nickens the throw. He's got a man. Slant route out to the 31-yard line. They'll call their second timeout. So the gamble pays off here, Marcus.
That is incredibly risky, because if they don't get that, that sets Indianapolis up in very good field goal position, or at least very good position to be able to try to get into field goal range. But this will give some life back to the Renegades and give them an opportunity to maybe milk a little bit of time off the clock and then see if they can get a field goal to win this game.
They're close to Omega's wheelhouse. They're going to want to get maybe a little bit closer. It'd be a 48-yarder from here. 26 seconds to go. Nickens looking, throws it towards the near sideline, caught. Only going to be a couple yards there out to the 28-yard line. Clock is ticking. Only one timeout left for the Renegades. They'll clock the ball there, excuse me, and we'll get our first MeUndies laundry on the field. Oh, man, what a call. As he was spiking the ball, he tosses it into the center. So they called it an illegal touching. That's a bit of a weird call right there.
That's very unfortunate for Oklahoma City. That's going to push them back, and they were just on the edge of field goal range as it was. So now I'm going to have to see what they can come up with.
Omega's going to attempt this long one here. It's a 40-yarder, 12 seconds to go. Good snap, hold is down, kick is up and away. It is no good. It stoinked off the upright, and Johnny Omega cannot believe it.
Oh, that's one of those plays that's going to come back and say, man, if it wasn't for that one penalty, we probably would have had enough range just to get it, and it just fell short. How unfortunate for Oklahoma City. They got to be very careful when they spike that football.
MeUndies are the world's most comfortable underwear. Visit MeUndies.com/SimulationFL for 15% off your purchase, which will help support the SFL through our partnership. Give the gift of comfort with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Free shippings and returns. Signature soft and stretchy MeUndies. Indianapolis able to get 7 yards there and blow another timeout. So each team now with 1 remaining and 3 seconds left to go. I think that's close enough there for Hail Mary range. We'll have to see what they do.
Hail Marys are very hit or miss in this game, and I think, personally, I've only seen one of them work from Houston last season, so it's worth a try. You never know. If you don't get it, the worst that happens is you go to overtime.
So here we go. Final play of the game either way. Well, maybe. We'll see. Drew, plenty of time in the pocket. He's going to heave it towards the end zone. He's got a couple men out there, tipped up and incomplete. Leonidas Richards was there. He's been targeted 20 different times tonight, and he just couldn't come up with this one. So we do have some extra time. We're going to head to overtime, tied at 31, and we will head to midfield again for the coin toss.
Please make your call.
Give us tails.
And the Spitfire win the coin toss. They will elect to take the ball. Overtime rules in the SFL a little bit different from everywhere else. First score wins regardless. Eric Vincent alongside Marcus Dunhill, Avery Allen in the stat truck tonight. And want to thank each and every one of you guys for coming out. We have just hit triple digits for overtime. Thank you, Andy Hamilton, for letting us know that. 31-31 the score as OKC boots it downfield to Hunter Jones, who will bring it up the middle of the field out to the 28-yard line. And we'll see what the Spitfire can do here with the first possession of overtime.
When halftime started, it was an 11-point game in favor of Oklahoma City, and Indianapolis has come back and made it a 31-31 game. So for them, it's time for them to see if they can end this comeback with a win here and get points on this drive and not even give it back to Oklahoma City.
TD Drew changing things up at the line of scrimmage. Thrown for over 400 yards tonight. He's going to throw for more here as he finds his man out over the middle of the field, close to a 10-yard gain. 2nd and inches. They'll mark him just shy there on the Trevor Farrell catch.
Now that we're back into overtime, you definitely have time back on the clock, so you don't have to rush. You can run here or there if you need to, but you definitely want to make sure you don't turn over the ball, especially this close on your side of the field.
OKC stacking the line, as Drew is going to throw. He'll throw over the middle of the field. That's caught in triple coverage. There is Dan Daly. And maybe he just needs additional pressure to hold on to the ball, Marcus.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's dropped a couple of them, but great pocket, great throw. There were 3 people on him. I think he got hit by all 3 people as he was going down to the ground. But maybe he put on his overtime gloves.
Crossing into opponent territory here. 1st and 10 from the OKC 47. Drew to throw again. He's got an open man towards the near sideline. That's Farrell again with another catch. He's got over 150 yards through the air today.
So far in this drive, Indy's doing pretty good moving down the field. They have a good opportunity here to be able to come away and win the game, and both teams have over 400 yards through the air, and Indianapolis is almost up to 500.
We expected fireworks when we saw these 2 teams on the schedule. We got them today. Keith Swearingen with a vicious stiff arm. He hasn't had virtually any opportunity to run the football today, and he's making the most of it here in overtime.
Fun fact for Keith Swearingen, I think he just about doubled his entire amount of yards he ran today in one run there. That's going to be his 8th run of the game. And he certainly did just about double. I think he was 1 yard short of doubling his amount of rushing yards for the entire 4 quarters of the game in one run in overtime.
Absolutely incredible as they move the ball to the OKC 28. Drew to throw. He'll throw it over the middle. He's got a man. 1st and goal inside the 10 to the 9. Dan Daly with another gutsy catch.
So now the question is, if any score is going to win it, do you just kick it now that you made it this far? Or do you take some risky throws and runs and try to get it into the end zone?
I'm kind of with you, Marcus. I would just go ahead and line up for the field goal and get out of here with a victory. Away victories are so hard to come by here in the SFL, and it looks like they will, in fact, attempt this field goal. Adam Vinchek.
Unless we get a miss or a block, it's going to be a win for Indianapolis.
For the ball game. Good snap, good hold, kick up and through. Indianapolis walks off with an overtime win, 34-31, off of Vinchek's foot.
Tough heartbreak for Oklahoma City. They had such a commanding lead in the first half, and they were even able to put up some points in the second half, but they got to the point where they could make that field goal, and they had that very unfortunate penalty trying to spike the football, which knocked them out of field goal range. And that field goal probably would have been enough to win. And if you look here, almost 500 yards for each team, and only up to 50 yards of rushing, 57 there for Oklahoma City. But a tough loss for OKC. There were plenty of opportunities they had that game in hand. But the way they just got outscored in the second half by Indianapolis was a big giveaway of how much Indianapolis wanted to win this game.
Just an impressive showing as we get a look at the 2K Sports post-game show. Impressive showing from, all parties involved here. Vinchek, 4 for 4 on field goals today. We had 3 interceptions by this Indy defense, keeping them in the ball game. And honestly, turnovers were the difference here tonight, Marcus.
Yeah, you could see plenty of offensive yards, plenty of defensive yards. The numbers were almost the same from both teams, give or take about 40 or 50 yards. And what made the big difference those turnovers, there's only 1 turnover for Indianapolis. when you go back to Oklahoma City, 3 interceptions. So those interceptions, especially how late in the game they were, just kept the momentum to the side of the Spitfires.
Almost 1,000 yards of total offense between these two ball clubs. Marcus, any final thoughts before we let the people go?
Tough-fought game by both teams. I think both teams have a lot to look forward to, and the season isn't even half over yet.
And just an incredible showing by both teams. A walk-off win for the Spitfire, moving them to 2-3. Oklahoma City will fall to 2-3 as we close out Week 5 of the Simulation Football League season. Week 6 coming up next week. Be sure to stay tuned to the Discord for all of the schedule and broadcast crews. On behalf of Marcus Dunhill and Avery Allen, my name is Eric Benson. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the presentation of the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. You guys have a good night.